What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you guys having a great day today. In today's video, we got a little bit of Plarium news I want to share with you guys here in regards to the weekend events. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Put it above my head here. So this Friday, January the 30th, we're planning to launch two events simultaneously. Number one, we're planning to launch a 2x event to summon epic and legendary champions from Ancient Shards. So we're going to have a 2x boosted Ancient event. So the rates for the Ancient Shard will be doubled, and there's also going to be a 10x boost to summon Edward Kenway, one of the Assassin's Creed characters. Please note the duration of the 10x will be 1 day shorter than the duration of the 2x. So that's going to give us the option of having the boost on for Edward or not. So first, let's talk about Edward. Let's talk about Edward. Is he worth any kind of going for or any kind of effort to get? So let's check out Edward here. He's from the Bannerman, I believe. Bannerman, yeah, there he is. So Edward Kenway, I think he is super good. I had a couple hours to play with him. I've done a showcase on him. I'll link it up here. Make sure you guys check it out. He is a Force Affinity attack base damage dealer. Now with 1575 base attack, he actually hits pretty good. I had him in some good gear. He was in a pretty endgame build, but I was up against some pretty endgame competition. But he did pretty well. He's got an A1 here with huge turn meter pushback. It doesn't require accuracy if he's under Veil, which is great because he has Veil in his kit, which is amazing, right? So great A1 here, a triple hit as well. His A2 is going to be a double hit AoE. The first hit will steal all the buffs from the enemies and push back their turn meter by 20%. This cannot be resisted if he's under Veil. The second hit will put everybody to sleep, and then the sleep will ignore block debuffs if it's critical, which it should be because he's a damage dealer, and this hit cannot be resisted if it's under Perfect Veil. So he gains a lot of value from being under Veil. For example, he doesn't require accuracy on his A1, he doesn't require accuracy on his A2, and his A3 places Perfect Veil on himself, which is amazing. So his A3 single target hits, a 3-turn cooldown as well. Before attacking, places Perfect Veil on this champion as well as any other assassins on the team. So he's kind of the only one that has any mention or synergy in his kit with the other assassins. But he can place Veil on them if you want to team them up. They don't need to be teamed up at all, so they can be run just by themselves. But he does have that option, so he places the Perfect Veil. And then he'll ignore shield, stone skin, and block damage, and he places block revive if he kills the target. Now this is a really strong ability. Unfortunately, it doesn't give him like an extra turn or something, so you can't really like chain kills or anything like that. He's just basically a single target like sniper. If you guys are interested in Edward's multipliers, they're actually very decent. So his A1 multiplier is a triple hit, keep that in mind, 1.35. So basically it's a 4x multiplier in his A1. His A2 is going to be a bit of a lower multiplier just because it's such a good A2. It's basically a support level A2. It's coming in at a 2.15. Keep in mind, it is a double hit. So you're getting 4.3 multiplier on that attack, which is actually pretty decent. It's pretty decent. Keep in mind, like Sun Wukong, Harima, they're like 3.94x on their AoE. So this AoE from Edward is actually still very comparable to other, just solid A3s. And then between the eyes, 6.5 on a single target. I think that's more than good considering what his A3 can do. A lot of people were saying that he doesn't hit very hard. From my testing, I was very satisfied with his damage. And his multipliers here show that it is very solid, 6.5, and it's rated a godlike rating from hellhades.com. So really happy to see it. The rest of his kit, pretty standard stuff. We got the same passive as all the rest of the assassins, where he does a little bit of extra bonus damage. And then his other passive is actually really interesting as well. So whenever he hits an enemy, he has a chance to land the Ensnare debuff. Ensnare debuff basically just shuts down turn meter boosting effects. So he's going to place a 100% Ensnare, which means a 100% turn meter ignore on the enemy. Whenever this champion kills an enemy, it places the 100% Ensnare debuff on everybody and decreases the turn meter by 20%. That's huge. That's humongous. That's a humongous for his entire kit, right? That's just for his entire kit. And it cannot be resisted if he's under Veil or Perfect Veil. Again, he benefits hugely from Veil, and he can place it on himself. And then lastly, this champion deals more damage against targets under Ensnare debuff, and this is very significant as well. So overall, he has a very synergistic kit. He hits hard enough, and he has, he's a huge threat. The main knock against him, he has no way to survive. So unless he goes first, or he's heavily protected, he can still be susceptible just like any other damage dealer that will just die right away. But for me, I think he's a great champ. Is he worth it in a 10x style event? Hell no. Hell no, it is not worth it, guys. Don't fall for the trap of going for 10x boosted events, 15 boosted events. They're just not worth it. Like these progressive events, they're just not worth it because the odds of you getting the champion, even if you pull a legendary, is extremely, extremely low. It's just not worth it, guys. But we do have the Edward 10x coming from Ancients only, and there is going to be a boost on Ancient Shards. So Ancient Shards is going to go up to 1% chance, and this is one of the best times for a lot of people to pull those Ancient Shards to get some additional value from those Ancient Shards, especially if you're new to the game. Pulling Ancient Shards during a 2x event gives you a 16% chance of getting epics, and a lot of times epics are the bread and butter for early game accounts because they're easier to build, they're easier to book, and they generally can be very useful in a lot of different areas. So don't always have to go for the legendary characters or any shiny characters. Epics can definitely do the job for early game accounts. So it's probably still a good time to pull those Ancient Shards, and if you get lucky enough to get Edward Kenway, then congratulations on that, but it's going to be a long shot to get him. Something else that I want to mention here in the Plarium Play calendar, another pro to pulling Ancient Shards is that there's actually another champion chase happening this weekend. Now this is a little bit peculiar because last weekend we had a champion chase, and then this weekend we had a champion chase as well. Now this has happened in the past before, although very, very rarely has this happened. I feel like this happened only when the events, they wanted to realign or something. They wanted to get the schedule back on track somehow. But basically we had 2x last weekend and then 2x this weekend, which means next weekend should be a summon rush. And since this week we didn't have a fusion, we just finished our fusion for Cassandra a couple of days ago. This week we have a little bit of a break. I would expect a fusion to drop next week, probably near the end of the week. And it's probably going to be the Valentine's fusion, I would say. Maybe a Valentine's fusion. I'm not too sure. But, we just had a week with no fusion. Next week, most likely fusion. Having 2 weeks off from a fusion is also a little bit peculiar. So maybe I suspect that a fusion would happen near the end of the Titan event. Maybe they connect with some of the last events. Or maybe we have something totally different. Maybe they have something really, really big planned. It's a little bit hard to speculate on that just because it is a bit of a peculiar event to have back-to-back champion chases. Now, generally for champion chases, for Ancient Shards, each Ancient Shard is worth roughly about 100 points. Not sure if you guys are going for a Titan event and all that. It doesn't feel like most people are going for a Titan event for Cassandra's 5-star soul or anything like that. But generally speaking, Ancient Shards for champion chase, great value, 100 points each roughly. And plus we have a 10x on Edward, which is pretty cool. This event is probably a go, like I said, for most newer players that aren't too interested in chasing big rewards or not able to save up enough to complete fusions or anything like that. So this kind of event is pretty good for those early game players. For late game players, you're probably thinking, should I pull my Ancient Shards and risk not having enough shards for future events? Now that's something real to really consider. Generally, Ancient Shards are just easier to get. They're worth not too many points towards Hero Path, or Summon Rush style events. That's kind of the big events for, big rewards like champions. Personally speaking, I'll probably jump into this event just to splash around a couple Ancient Shards and all that, and probably aim just for the Titan points in the event. Anyways, that's going to be it for the news here. Like I said, we got 10x Edward Kenway happening on the weekend with a 2x Ancient Shards. It's only going to be from Ancient Shards, guys. Edward only from Ancient Shards. And we have a champion chase going along with the Ancient Shard event, which is seemingly good value, especially if you're aiming for the Titan points and all that. All right, let me know in the comments below what you guys are planning to do. Appreciate you guys watching until the end of the video. Hopefully you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.